Hey guys, welcome back to Django Simplified. In this video, we will explore the Django project structure, understanding what each file does, and then start our first Django app. Let's get started. Okay guys, this is my Django project. And you can see I created my project. This is the file for the Django project, the application I created. So you can see in the main directory we have the manage.py, so this is the manage.py. Okay, so the manage.py is a script that helps us to interact with our project. So we use it to run commands, like it's just like a server. Like we use it to create apps, and we use it to make migrations. So just think of this file, the manage.py, as a remote control for your project. This is the main script to help you do a lot of migrations. Is the main script for your server. So okay, so if you check the inner file, you can see here we have another my project here. Let's drop it down. Okay, inside we can see that we have several files inside. We have the init.py, the asgi.py, the settings.py, the urls.py, and the wsgi.py. So the init.py is an empty file. The init.py is just an empty file that tells Python that this is a package. It tells Python that this is a Python package. So without it, Python won't treat this folder as a project. So that is the function of the init.py. So okay, the settings.py, I can say the settings.py is the control center of your project. So it helps us to it helps us to store the project configuration, install apps and database configuration settings, and also help us to store templates and statics file. So the settings.py is just the powerhouse of your project. So this is where all your configuration settings and everything will be stored. So you can see we have the secret key, allow host, and the install app. So I'm going to show you about this install app as well. So we are going to be using all these things, the middleware and every other thing. So this is also the template I talked about. So we are going to specify the directory where our template is saved. This is the function of the settings.py. So all our configuration will be saved here as well. So and we also have the database. So this is where we are going to specify which database we are using. The default database is SQLite. So we can change it to MySQL or any other database. We just input the function here. So this is for the settings.py. There are a lot of things we can do out there. This is the static URL. So we are going to also specify the file path for our static file. So that is the function of this settings.py. It's just like a powerhouse. So like it's we can say it's just like a panel, a setting panel. So that is the function of the settings.py. Also, we also have the urls.py. Okay, the urls.py is just a route. It's a route for your Django to know if maybe you are going to about us or you are going to home page. So this URL is just a routing system of Django. So it decides what happens when someone visits a specific URL. So let's say for example, if we go to about us, so Django check the urls.py to know which view should handle it. So that is the function of the urls.py. So just think of it like a GPS map of your project. Okay. So we also have the wsgi.py. The wsgi.py is used in production mode. So it helps us to deploy we call it a wsgi server. So it's not important for now, but it's crucial when you want to make your app live. Maybe you want to put it into production. Okay, so we also have the asgi.py. This is just similar to the wsgi that we talked about. So this is just similar to the wsgi. Okay, so it's just like a asynchronous support. Like let's say if you are using WebSocket, so they are not important for now. So that is it. So now let's create our first app. So now we need to open our terminal to create our first app. Okay, so let's open the command prompt. Okay, so to create our first app, let's go to our directory, the Django project. Okay, so I'm already in my Django project. You can see this is my project. So cd my project. Let me go to my project. That's our main directory for our project. Okay, as you can see, we have the manage.py there. So we know that we are already in our main directory. So to start our first app in the terminal, that's what we do. We use the manage.py. I already talked about the manage.py. So it helps us to do a lot of things, make migrations and a lot of things. So now the manage.py. So to start our first app, we say Python manage.py start app. So when we run on the start app, we give it a specific name. I mostly use call for my app name. So okay, as you can see now, our app call has been created. Okay, so let's check the directory. We see a new file directory. You see a new file directory call. As you can see, in this file directory, we have the migration. This is the migration. We have a lot of init.py, admin.py, apps.py, models.py, tests.py, views.py. So as you can see, I've already talked about the init.py. It's just to serve the file as a Python package, as a Python module. So it serves as a Python package. So you can check it's an empty file. So it's not really important. It's just to tell Django that this is a Python file. So now the admin.py, it helps us to register our models. So now this is the admin.py. So it helps us to manage the models in the Django admin. So now this is the apps.py. It's just an app configuration file. So and we already have it here, the core, which is the name of the app we created. So this model.py it defines the database model. Let's say we want to have the name of the user. You want to have the name of users. Now, then this is where you're going to write your function to collect the name of users. Let's say you want to have a user profile now. The user profile will contain the first name, last name, the other thing, image, and every other thing. So this is where you're going to define it, the model.py. So that is the function of the model.py. It defines the database models. So we also have a test.py. This one is just to write a test case. It's not really important. Maybe you want to test a case or something, then this is the function of the test case. It's not really important like that. So this is the views.py. The views.py controls what happens when someone visits your URL. It's just like the brain of your app. This is where you'll be writing your back-end function for your Django. So it's just like the place where you write all your back-end functionalities. Okay. We also have the migration folder. The migration folder it keeps track of your database. Okay, it keeps track of your database. Like if there's any changes in your database, this is where we are going to be migrating it. So the files will be saving there. So if there's any change in your model.py, we need to migrate. So we make migrations, then it's going to save the new migration into this migration file. So then that is all for that. So now we need to activate our app in the settings.py. So now to activate our app in the settings.py, let's go to the settings. Okay. Now in the settings, we need to make sure that we register this app that we just created. Django has not recognized this app yet. So now we need to register it here. Install app. We need to go to install app here and go to then we put the name of the app we created. So put core. So Django now recognizes that we are in an installed app which is core. So that is one of the things we are going to do in the settings.py. So as well, this tells Django that this core tells Django to recognize and include your app in the project. So that's the function of this installed app. Okay, we also need to create our urls.py. So we go to the call, then we create the url.py file. Okay, so this is just a route as well, so we need to include some things. So from the Django.urls, okay. So we also be having we also import our views as well from dot import views. So we are importing this view file. So this is where our backend will be. So we are importing these view files inside this urls.py file. So now the next thing for us to do is to create a URL pattern. So you need to use this URL pattern. This is what Django recognizes. So URL patterns, URL patterns will be in a list. Okay. So then we create a path. The path we imported here. Then we open an empty string. So this will be the home directory. An empty string. Then we say views dot the name of our view. So before we do this, let's give it home, views.home, then we give it a name, home page. You can give it any name. Give it the name home page. Okay. Now this is the path. If we open our server, this is the path. We can have it like this home as well. So we go to maybe the local host 127.0.0.1/home. Then this Django will recognize this views.home. So, but in our views.py, we need to create a view. Okay, we need to create a function that will be home. So there, home request. Okay, so we need to have a function like this. Then we return let's return a HTTP response. So from Django, let's contrib.http imports HTTP response. So let's say return HTTP response. This is an home page. Okay, now we have returned HTTP response. Now we know that we have already created a function here, home. Then in our urls.py, we need to have the views.home, which I've done here. So you can see the views.home. So this is the path. We can make it an empty string as first. So it will just route to this path. So we have done this and we have done this as well. So we need to register this urls.py in our settings, and as well in the urls.py as well. So the main thing we need to do now is to import include. So from Django.url import path and include. So then we go here, we say path, we open the empty string to serve as our home. So this is serving as our home page, you can see. So this is serving as our home page. Then we say include core.urls. So this is core.urls. So it's including core.urls to our URL path. So the Django's read everything. So everything is connected together. So now, okay, so now what do we need to do? Let's try to run our application. Let's run our server and check it out. So now let's say we want to run our server, then we say Python manage.py run server. Okay, you should get a local host. Okay, can you see we have a local host 127.0.0.1/8000. So now let's open this in the web browser. Okay, let me open this in the web browser. You see, we have this is an home page. You see, it redirects. It reads. This is the server, so it redirects to. It returns a HTTP response. This is an home page which I've written here in the views.py. So this is our home page. Let's say we didn't connect this together into our Django. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. You see, we have the Django welcome page. You see, we have the Django welcome page. So now this is what we do to connect our urls.py. Let's restart the server. The server reloaded automatically itself. So let's reload. So we have a home page. So also now, let's say we want to create another page. Let's say about us. Then first of all, we go to our views, dev. We create the dev function. We go to about. You can say request. We put request is compulsory. Request. Okay, return HTTP response. Oh, okay. Let's say welcome to manage.py technologies. Okay. Let's say this is just about us, and then we go to our URL path. Yeah, we don't have anything to do with the project URL path again. We just need to go to our app URL path, which is the core, and the URL path we created here. So we just need to write the path. So let's say we have not include the path here, and let's say we want to go to about. Let's see what we get. You see page not found. So you can see here that it's saying page not found. So we need to include it here in the path here. So we say path. Let's give it about us. About. Okay. The views that we handle the about us will be views.about. Okay. And give it a name. Just give it any name. Let's say about. Okay. Now we give a comma here. So now let's go to our browser. Now let's check it out now. Let's see what we get. You can see now we get welcome to manage.py technologies. Okay, that is about us. If we give it any name, we can say about us. We can give it any. It's not compulsory to be about us. We can even say this is the home. You see this about us will not exist again because that's not the root. So we need to change it to home. Let's the app refresh. Let's wait for the app to refresh. Yeah, let's restart our app. Okay, home. Okay, we need to choose. Okay, let's give it to owner. Oh, about us does not exist. Home. Okay, you can see now we have the home page. We have it as home page. So this is the way we can route our server, our URL. So okay, so you have seen this video. We have explored the Django project structure, and we have created our first app, learn about manage.py, and also the settings.py and the urls.py, and we have connected a simple view to display text in the browser. Also, in the next video, we dive deeper into templates, like rendering HTML templates, so we can return HTML template, a proper HTML template, instead of returning a text. So thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll meet again in the next video.